And we are live once again, Rudra, as we spoke too soon the previous time. Monaco, short qualifying.
I mean, we might have jinxed the stream because of what we said before.
Yep, indeed we did. I always wonder what car that is, by the way.
I don't know, looks to be like a make of Skoda perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. And in the Principality of Monaco, the virtual Principality, no doubt, we go racing. And just the start as KDB holds on to P1. Accelerate right behind him, and the cars are steaming through the streets of Monaco.
I'm just glad that everybody behaved themselves on turn 1.
Yep, for now, as we move down the grid, everything seems okay. Yellow flag, virtual safety car is out, and I think it's the back markers touching. There's debris on the track. Sick Nick gets a 5-second penalty for severe collision.
Oof. Their race could not have gotten to a poorer start.
Yep, Red Bull having a horrible moment. McLaren brake testing the Red Bull back there. Rusty Nish gets a 5-second penalty for that, as expected, with Cygnus Raghavan. Through the tunnel they go. All 3 sectors were yellow flag a moment ago. Cars are closer than ever.
The front of the grid looks relatively calm, I must add.
Yep, it does. They've been very decent so far. Fastest lap set by KDB as always.
It's interesting to see that only 2 drivers have chosen to go with the hard tire compound.
That's with 356.
That's not something you see on Monaco. A hard tire on Monaco?
Yeah, they might be trying.
This really is 2020.
Yep, it really is 2019 to be specific.
But in the year 2020.
I guess that's what happens when you play the 2019 game in 2020. As KDB still holds the race lead with accelerate less than a second right behind him. Big man Joe still holding on to his position. The supreme leader gained position. Mr. Vex dropped by a position.
Daniel Avocado in the pits right now. I'm assuming to change his wings perhaps.
Yep, he's on his tail. He was on his tail, Mr. Vex back there on supreme leader. Three-second time penalty for freeze after multiple warnings. Same goes for Thor as well after multiple warnings. I'm guessing they had a bit of a moment with multiple drivers. KDB setting the fastest lap, bettering his time once again. Race control says DRS enabled. Onboard 3 watts in 10. Thunderbird right behind him. The Mercedes, Ferrari and Toro Rosso.
Not a midfield battle we'd be seeing anytime soon in real
Srivatsan
life.
gets the dive and he overtakes Freeze. Well placed that car, and Thunderbird's gonna try the same thing on Freeze once again.
Srivatsan is the only hope for Ferrari right now, and looking at the way the race has gone for them, I don't expect it to change.
Yup, oh, he lost a bit of his wing back there, Vix356. And he's got that Red Bull right on his tail.
He's gonna have to deal with understeer for the entire lap now. It's not gonna be a pretty sight.
Oh, the gap's increased by half a second. Cygnus Raghavan could have a good race.
Oh, that's a very sluggish turn. He's suffering already.
He is KDB bettering his time once again.
KDB is on fire right now. I don't expect him to slow down anytime soon.
Yup, he's not going to slow down anytime soon, and neither is Cygnus Raghavan as he approaches the tail of Vix356. He isn't getting that gap considering Monaco is a street circuit. Sicknig with a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Freeze went into the pits, a rather early pit stop if you ask me.
Maybe they will desperately try to change their strategy in order to make the best out of the race. given the current circumstances.
Cygnus Raghavan on the tail of Vix 356 for a while now, but he's doing a good job holding off that Red Bull Vix 356. 3-second time penalty for Rocketman after multiple warnings.
There's a good view at his front wing right now. It's in shambles. I mean, the right wing is almost non-existent.
That is absolutely unfortunate for Vix 356 after that collision in that corner.
You lose so much pace when you do damage to either of your wings. I mean, it's really a parity concern.
Accelerate with the fastest lap now.
Accelerate has almost caught up to KDB by half a second.
The top 5 all are on soft tires, while the person right behind him is UK with the mediums. Quite the variation of strategy we're seeing here at Monaco.
And now the number of drivers on hard tires have doubled. I mean, this is certainly interesting to watch.
Yep, Thunderbird gets 3-second time penalty back there. Everyone going for longer stints. A bit of a mishap there by Vix 356.
Cygnus Raghavan bidding his time, waiting for an opportunity, patiently going to make the move.
Gouts with a front wing change as well as a tire change in the pits as he comes out.
I mean, he was on hard tires. That didn't last very long.
Yep. Did he decide to change strategy after 5 laps?
Maybe he would have to, given his wing was damaged, but let's see.
Yep, he comes out on the mediums, cuts the first corner. The Avocado coming out of the pits as well with the mediums, as the front runners KDB and Accelerate stick together.
Accelerate has reduced the gap further by 0.2 of a second.
And
now it's 3:10. He is rapidly gaining.
Setu RC18 is dropping incredibly as he went into the pits for a set of mediums.
What a contrasting fate of events for the Haas teammates.
Look at this. He's still on his tail.
Credit to Vix 356 for keeping him out for so long. I mean, it's commendable.
It is, as Sicknick gets another 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings. They've got Rusty Nish in front, who's on the soft. So if Vix 356 gets a jump on Rusty Nish, he's definitely got an issue, Rusty Nish. Or he's just slow. Corner cutting by Vix 356 back there.
Almost gets away with it.
Yep. Nicks the wall too.
I wonder how long Vix can stay out on the track. I mean, he has to come in very soon for a wing change.
Yeah, a bit of a moment there as Cygnus Raghavan nicks the wall on that corner.
Well, that was unexpected.
Yep, and Rusty Nish had an issue too. So Vix 356 goes up a place.
He overtakes 2 places. I mean, he overtakes all the drivers he had to worry about.
Yep.
And now he has some clear air to take in.
Rocketman gets another 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings, and this has played out very well for Vix 356. You gotta remember.
He's coming on to Shea Watson now.
Yep, you gotta remember he's on the hard, so it's a longer stint.
Hards with a damaged wing. Now that is a scary opposition tactic.
For sure, as Mr. Vex gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Second penalty today for corner cutting. One of the drivers.
I mean, with the tight chicanes and very high speed corners you can find in Monaco, it's no surprise.
And as we concentrated on the midfield drivers, KDB goes into the pits, handing the front running positions to Accelerate and Big Man Joe. Will he be able to
Putting
come
on
out
a set of mediums now.
Yep, will he be able to come out in front of Mr. Vex? No. He's lost considerable time.
He might be coming out in 6th position, I guess, or maybe not.
UK is into the pits as well, along with Mr. Vex as well. A lot of drivers pitting this lap. As they come out, we see Cygnus Raghavan holding on to P8 now. 3-second time penalty for Siknig. His third set of penalties again.
Siknig is not having a good race. He has racked up multiple warnings, I guess, and penalties, and his race is not going to improve, I believe, at this point.
Yep, Accelerate leads the race with his, but he's got soft tires on. A little bit of moment there by Vix 356 again with that Ferrari.
The Ferraris were driving awfully close. I wonder if they have some strategy in mind, because Daniel Avocado is 30 seconds behind his leader.
Yep, and I'm guessing he's gonna lap his teammate any moment now, Srivatsan 10, as Freeze gets a time penalty as well for multiple warnings. Rusty Nish gets a time penalty after multiple warnings. Race directors handing out time penalties like it's Christmas here.
I mean, certainly they want to make the race more exciting, but at the expense of the drivers, which we frankly love. Makes for good TV.
Srivatsan 10 into the pits. He'll switch it to mediums.
Mediums. Interesting choice, but the right choice given the current race lineup.
UK will try and dive any moment now. Doesn't. Sticks to the tail of Mr. Wex, who's got Rusty Nish ahead of him. UK approaching Mr. Wex real quick there. Oh, bit of a moment here. McLaren, Renault and Haas, they're having quite the fight as Mr. Wex approaches Rusty Nish.
The hairpin is going to be very crucial now to see who has gained time and who has lost time.
Oh, he comes to a halt.
That action. Oh my god. He manages to overtake.
Yep. Not something you usually see. Mr. Wex came to a complete halt back there.
I believe he got too much of the curb and just kind of had to give place.
Debris in the tunnel from one of the cars as Vix 356 gets a time penalty as well. Freeze with a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. Rusty Nish lost a bit of time there in that corner. Oh, round the inside he goes. And UK
and he pulls it off.
Yep. Oh no, they're wheel to wheel almost.
Oh, he lost a bit of his steering wheel right there.
Look out! And they crash! And they crash almost. Yep. Mr. Wex shunts UK.
I wonder if that's gonna warrant any penalties, because that was not a racing incident.
Yep, that wasn't a racing incident, but while Mr. Wex shunted UK, Setu RC18 made good use of that opportunity and picked up the position as the virtual safety car comes out this lap. Yellow flag. What a moment there.
I believe UK might have some words with Mr. Wex after the race ends.
Yeah, for sure.
And not the ones he would like.
Yep, not the ones he would like indeed, as the virtual safety car is out. Thor is the only one who goes into the pits, comes out with the softs.
I believe it might be a good time for Wix to pit as well, given the safety car will at least stay for another lap. He will take a lot of time in the pits.
Yep, and Supreme Leader has ended up falling back and getting into the mix of the McLaren, Renault and Haas's. Virtual safety car goes in and Rusty Nish goes into the pits.
I mean, he went on the softs for 9 laps. That's a good stint.
Mr. Wex right behind him. And Freeze as well. Rocketman gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As Srivatsan 10 gets up to
Interesting
P9.
to see Freeze sticking to the medium strategy.
Big man Joe disconnects being on at P2. So has UK. UK has left the session. Wow. Not a great day for these drivers.
I really hope he can join back in soon.
Yep, Cygnus Raghavan on the tail of Vix 356 yet again. And will he dive down the inside? Nope, he doesn't risk it. He sticks to the tail of Vix356 with Vix356 teammate, the Supreme Leader, right behind him. Is he gonna get sandwiched by the 2 racing points any moment now? No, too big of a gap for the Supreme Leader to even come close to the Red Bull.
Accelerate is out now on mediums, losing his P1 to Big Man Joe.
Yep, but you need to remember Big Man Joe has had a bit of a moment there where he lost connection. 3-second time penalty for Rusty Nish after multiple warnings. As Srivatsan 10 gets another position after Vix356 goes into the pits, gets a new set of mediums.
Also having to change the front wing, he finally has the pace required now.
Big Man Joe leads the race on the hard tires as Accelerate closes in on Big Man Joe, closer than ever. Bit of a moment here in the corner as the Haas is closer.
Is on the mediums and can catch up to Big Man Joe fairly quickly if things go his way.
Yep. In the tunnel, bit of a moment. Racing Point right behind the Red Bull. Haas right behind the Racing Point. And anyone dies out? Yep, the Supreme Leader will try and get his position. Yes, he does.
That was a really, really good move.
That Red Bull's not giving up though. He's on the tail, but he's got a Haas to fend off as well. Right behind. The Haas will try and dive. Yes, he does. Oh, bit of a moment. They shunt.
Still not letting it go, and it's gonna be a very tense fight up this straight.
Both are on mediums, but Setu RC18 are on a fresher set of tires.
Gently letting go. I think he is plotting his move now and will make an overtake very soon, possibly at the hairpin. We never know.
Possibly, as we see,
tries for a move, but does not work out.
Doesn't quite.
Cygnus Raghavan defends well.
Well done, Red Bull.
Thunderbird is having a quiet race, but look at him up in P4.
Yep. Well, yes, he dives down the inside. Setu RC18 gets that position.
Manages to get it done. Brilliant move. Fantastic move.
Yep. Fine racing by Setu RC18 back there. Cygnus Raghavan doesn't seem like he's too happy about that. He's gonna try. Will he try in this corner? Nope. He shut the door pretty well, Setu RC18. Srivatsan 10 doesn't seem like he has anyone in front or behind him. Rather unusual given that Monaco is a street circuit. Sector 3.
Now we are starting to see the drivers having some gap in between them.
Had a bit of a shunt, severe collision with Rocketman. Rusty Nish gets a time penalty. Oh, Rocketman's lost his front wing completely. Rocketman has no front wing. And yes, he struggles. Struggles taking the Alfa Romeo into the pits.
This is gonna take a huge hit in his standings as well as his lap times now. This pit stop is gonna be very costly. Thankfully, it happened just before the pit entry. Otherwise, imagine having to drive like this for an entire lap of Monaco.
Wouldn't be pretty, that's for sure. As the clouds come over Monaco, do you think we'd see a bit of rain?
It is possible given the circumstances, but it might just work out for the leaders because that would mean a free pit stop.
There's over 24 laps left in this race. Drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car as safety car comes out for Vix356. And at the back, seemed like Rocketman and Rusty Nish were almost racing. Big Man Joe holds the race lead.
This might give the other drivers some time to catch up and close the gap between them. And Big Man Joe will have to put up a little bit of a fight once the safety car goes in.
Yes, he'll have to as the pack closes up more than ever.
Accelerate looking very eager today.
And drivers heat up their tires in the tunnel. We've seen that go wrong in the real F1, where drivers try heating up their tires in the tunnel and end up crashing into each other.
I mean, Monaco doesn't come to mind, but Grosjean at Baku definitely does. That was rather hilarious, but still sad.
Yep, it was. As the pack gets closer, not something the race leader would want in a race like Monaco. And if you take a look, P2, P3, P4, and P5 are all. Oh, okay. KDB's a Williams. My bad. I thought it was a full Red Bull lockout from P2 all the way to P5.
Well, he might certainly feel like the black sheep right now,
Yep.
but he's not one to back down.
5-second time penalty for Gouts for severe collision with Rocketman. Rocketman getting bombarded by other drivers and not having his day ever. Like every race, this is the scene. Exceeding track limits, 5-second time penalty for Thor as well. Ignoring yellow flag. Does Thor know there's a safety car out? He seems to be ignoring every... Yep, disqualified from session for ignoring yellow flag. Thor will not be able to finish this race after not paying attention to the safety car, to the yellow flags. And he is
He
disqualified.
tried to cover the gap of 49 seconds, but that was a very, very silly thing to do.
Yep, you gotta stick to your delta. No messing around on the safety car.
Now all of it falls on KDP, who has to score some points for Williams as well as himself.
As we see both the Toro Rossos on the tail of that Alfa Romeo. 10-second time penalty for corner cutting for Rusty Nish. Like I said, penalties being handed like lollipops on Christmas as a couple of drops of rain coming down.
This might not be a good sign because the safety car is still out.
Rusty
I mean,
Nish.
it could mean a potential pre-pit stop, but you never know.
Oh, is there debris flying around?
No, I think it's starting to drizzle now.
Yep, and that's
We might have rain in Monaco with half the race yet to start.
Yep, it is, as we see on board Setu RC18, 5-second penalty for ignoring
Yes,
yellow flag.
it is raining, Sarthak. It's gonna be very fun now.
It is. It's going to be a treat to watch as we go down the grid. A lot of ghosted cars, which means severe collision with freeze. I think the game is having an issue, if you ask me. I don't think all these penalties are legitimate.
Maybe, I mean, there might be a strict corner cutting rule which seems to be just ruthlessly throwing penalties around.
Yep, and we have noticed in races prior to this one that the game tends to hand out some not really meant to hand out penalties, but does. Kind of like a glitch in the game.
Understandable, but that's something that they'll have to adapt to, sadly, for this race.
But these cars are slower than ever as they come around the corner.
It's interesting to see how nobody pit in the last lap despite a few drops of rain appearing on the track.
They're holding on to the tires they have, medium, softs. Some of the drivers are on softs. KDB, Supreme Leader, dropping positions. Okay, a ghosted car of the Mercedes-Benz doing a little bit of burnout there. Freeze.
He might be the first one in the pit then, I guess.
Could be, but he's on the mediums. 6 laps old only. And look at those cars. Safety car in this lap, and are you ready to go racing once again? Safety car in this lap. Race control announces.
Big Banjo bidding his time, hoping to get that flash start that would take him apart from accelerate.
5-second time penalty for Sicknick after a severe collision with Mr. Wex.
And the misery just keeps piling on for Signal. Ooh, bit of a slide there by Big Man Joe.
And we're back racing in Monaco as KDB tries to get a jump on Thunderbird but doesn't quite get it. Will he on the straight? Big Man Joe holding on to the race lead. Sector 1 gets a yellow flag already. I'm guessing a couple of the midfield and back markers had a little bit of shunt.
We already have a yellow flag in Sector 1.
Oh, and he crashes there.
Oh!
That was Thunderbird.
Very, very costly mistake.
Yup, he's lost part of his wing. He's lost part of his wing. He'll have to come
He's
back.
lost a significant part of his wing. It's going to affect him severely.
Yep. Freeze gets a 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings as well. Cygnus Raghavan right behind, got a couple of ghosted cars in front of him. Debris flying around. Siknik drops positions as well. And Srivatsan has the Supreme Leader on his tail. Will the Supreme Leader get a jump? Nope. The Ferrari pulls away. Sector 3 gets a yellow.
I don't know if you have noticed, Sarthak, but the Racing Points seem to be having a rather lackluster race compared to their earlier exploits in the other Grand Prix.
Yep, they did say they'll be caught off guard here in Monaco, considering Vix 356 did get a 5-place grid penalty after an accumulation of 5 penalty points.
The Supreme Leader, having won the last GP, is a very, very shocking P9 today.
Yeah, Vix 356 goes into the pits, comes out with a fresh set of mediums. Freeze out, and Vix 356 will come out in front of Thor. And what's this? Rocket Man again with an issue. And so does the ghosted car behind him, UK.
This does not bode well for any of the cars following, and there's a lot of debris on the track.
There's bits of front wings right there as they come around the corner. Rocket Man has left the session sector to yellow flag as the Ferraris are right behind each other. Rain is coming down quite a bit now. And the Haas's. Now Seto RC18 being way in front of UK is ghosted. DRS enabled. Oh, the Ferrari is struggling. Oh, corner cutting. Srivatsan corner cutting. Nope. That was D Avocado. Seems like Rocket Man.
I think there was much he could do anyway. He had to avoid the front car at all costs.
Rocket Man
but
goes.
Sadly takes a penalty.
Rocket Man goes into the pits. He literally has no front wing. And he's got UK right behind
I think
him.
this is the second time he had his front wing destroyed today, isn't it?
Yep. Third perhaps, if I'm not wrong. As Thor gets another position, even though the game did say he was disqualified. Oh, what is this freeze sliding around? No front wing.
Tank slapping there.
Oh, and he loses. Yes, he's crashed out.
He's broken his suspension for the front right and he's out of the race.
Yes, he's out. He had
Safety
no
car
front
in.
wing. Yep, safety car. How disappointing. For
That was a
Freeze.
very risky drive with rain falling and to have no wing.
Unfortunate for the Mercedes team. And he's on the part of the track right after the first corner, if I'm not wrong. Safety car's out. Yellow flag all around track. Mr. Wex holding on to that top 5 position and is only 1.5 seconds from his opponent in front, Thunderbird.
Accelerate on the soft tires and considerably older than KDB, but with the current drizzle, I think the soft tires will have an advantage over the the medium tires will have an advantage over the super softs.
I think so. KDB is about a second away from accelerate as Cygnus Raghavan gets a position as Thunderbird serving his time penalty and changes his front wing and tires. Hard tires come out.
If I were him, I would have gone for the inters, to be honest.
Mr. Wex switches to the intermediates like you said.
The first driver on the grid with inters right now. And Siknig as well.
Yep, and UK as well along with Rusty Nish too.
So finally they're starting to wake up and let's see how much time they can catch up in the
and
safety
he
car
slides,
window.
he's sliding, he's drifting. He's drifting here in Monaco, Mr. Vex.
We we might have to remind Vex this is not Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
But that was a really well orchestrated drift. He almost lost it.
Yep, he almost lost it. Commendable driving back there by Mr. Vex. And those green tires look pretty great with a black and yellow Renault.
The commentary box approves. They indeed approve.
Commentary box approves indeed. 3-second time penalty for Rusty Nish again for corner cutting. He is at the back of the pack but with inters. Oh, action in front as Shivatsen 10 loses out in between, but KDB goes into the pits for a new set of tires. Is he probably going to come out?
It definitely might be inters.
Yes, it is.
Yes, they are inters. I wonder why Accelerate and Big Man Joe haven't pitted, because they do practically get a free pass with the safety car. I don't get it why they're not utilizing this opportunity.
I'm as clueless as you, as half the grid goes into the pits and everybody comes out on inters, but the front runners stick to their mediums and hard tires.
Oh boy, that's not gonna be a pretty sight.
Not at all. But they're closer than ever. Anything's possible. Do you think they're...
Gots with a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Ouch.
Yep. Seems like the only drivers without inters is the two Alfa Romeos, as well as Accelerate along with Cygnus Raghavan. And Vix 3562 as he gains a position awkwardly.
Did he overtake under the yellow flag? Because that is not something he should be doing.
Or did he get the position while the other cars were in the pits? Oh, all cars stopped. I'm guessing that's disaster for McLaren and the Haas. Oh, and he's lost the front wing. The avocado.
Oh no.
He's lost the front wing.
Technic and Avocado having a very bad race today. Both of them trying to beat each other, I guess.
Rocket Man, bad race for him as well. 5-second time penalty for
Big Man Joe.
Yep.
I think Accelerate should take this opportunity and pit so that he still has.
Comes to a stop. The avocado.
He has broken his front right tire as well.
Yep, and as we are on board Rocket Man, we will see the avocado on track. Oh no, he's been cleared virtually. DNF for the avocado. We saw that happen. Cygnus Raghavan loses the position, as well as both the Haases. Well, one is ghosted due to position, and yep, rightfully so, all the front runners go into pits for inters.
Well, better late than never.
Oh, we got a full wet tire out. Vix 356 with the full wet tires.
I wonder if that is going to be a stroke of genius or a mistake.
Yep, seems
on
like
Vic's part.
rain is coming down more than ever.
It's a light spray right now, and I feel like an Inter might be able to do the job well enough.
Yep, but P7 for Vix 356. If the tables do turn and rain comes down even more heavily, we could possibly see this man winning the race. But let's not get too optimistic, huh? Bit of a wing
If he does, then he's my driver of the day already.
Yep. Oh, moment here for all the drivers.
Lot of congestion in the hairpin.
Yep. Oh, I'm enjoying the Monaco GP. I'm enjoying this. 16 laps to go.
Remember how before the race started, we both were discussing how a rain would be like the perfect spice to this race, and our prayers have been answered.
Yep. It has, as Accelerate sporting the Ayrton Senna helmet. Severe collision with Cygnus Raghavan. Setu RC18 gets a penalty as there's a huge mix up there in the midfield. Rusty Nish.
That did not look pretty.
Not a great day for Rusty Nish. Mr. Wex.
And the safety car is in this lap.
Yep, Mr. Wex has considerably fallen in positions as he's in P10. Thunderbird severe collision with Supreme Leader. Let's see what...
And here we got the Rascas. Time to resume the race.
And Accelerate will steam ahead with KDB right on his tail. Yep, KDB will try. Nope, he doesn't. Oh, and shunts Accelerate.
Almost gets brake tested.
Big Manjo behind him. Sector 3 gets a yellow flag already.
Ooh, a little bit of front losing out over there.
Teammates having a bit of a moment as Supreme Leader on the inters and Wix 356 on the wets. And the Thunderbird tries to get down the inside. Will he get his position? Yes, he does. The intermediate's working well on this track right now.
Wix will definitely be slower than the rest of the pack because of his wets.
He's got Mr. Wex on his tail next.
You can lose so much pace in the rain if you're not careful of selecting which tire you go for, and Wix is losing pace right now.
We saw that McLaren of Rusty Wish come to a halt at the hairpin.
And here we see Gots doing bits and climbing 2 positions in the last 2 laps. Not a bad recovery.
Not bad at all, but he's got UK in front, who is amidst a Red Bull and a Ferrari, which both have been ghosted. But we got Mr. Wex on the tail of Wix 356 right now. Fix the wall back there.
Almost bumped the wall. Actually did bump the wall.
And yeah, Wix 356 realizes he has to change the tires and he goes into the pits. He's probably
Well, there goes my Driver of the Day award that I was going to give him.
Indeed it does. He comes out with intermediates. Just
Had
like
to change his wing as well.
Yep, just like the rest of the track. And Thor gets a position there. But these drivers are closer than ever. Say to RC18, oh, hairpin.
Ooh, just as I was about to say something, it goes down.
Disaster.
I wonder what happened there.
I wonder too. Kind of missed that, but caught on to the chaotic parking by these drivers. As Srivatsan 10 seems to be holding off Setu RC18 pretty well. 3-second time penalty for Srivatsan 10.
Corner cutting right there. That chicane does not excuse you for even the tiniest bit of corner cutting. The driver should have learned that by now.
Nope, it does not. 25 laps of the race done. 26 in fact, as Accelerate finishes that 25th lap. Gouts gets 3-second time penalty. The whole grid is on intermediates.
I have a feeling that we might see some massive movement in the grid once the race is over because of the sheer amount of time penalties we have seen for each driver.
Yes, we will, as Cygnus Raghavan tries to get that jump on Setu RC18 but doesn't. Seems like the rain's coming down heavier now, Rudra.
I'm starting to wonder if Wix is going to be screaming inside while driving right now.
Could be.
Also, the spray does not look too much, so I guess it's more of the visibility issue rather than the track.
Could it be? Let's go to our broadcast. Nope, no Rudra. Oh, there's a bit of a shunt there. Red Bull hits the Haas. Nope, the rain is coming down a lot more now. Sector 2 gets a yellow flag as KDB and Big Man Joe switches positions.
Accelerate and Big Man Joe are comfortably well ahead of the rest of the pack, with the closest competitor KDB almost 5 seconds behind.
Indeed, only just over a second is the gap between Accelerate and Big Man Joe. Could Accelerate be looking at his first win of the season?
Might just be. I mean, he is pretty much guaranteed a podium unless he messes up his race somehow, because P4 is a staggering 18 seconds behind the leaders.
Staggering indeed, as all the cars come around that corner. Thunderbird gets that jump on Supreme Leader back there. Just what he needed. Mr. Wex shortly behind. The fight for P4 is incredible. You got 4 cars almost within a second of each other. Gouts retires from the session Has he crashed out?
Ooh, I think he has.
Yep, yellow flag. Hopefully we can get it as we're on Rusty-ish. Hope we don't. Three-second time penalty for Mr. Wex after multiple warnings as the drivers come through the tunnel. Seems like someone joined us here at the commentator's box.
Hey, what's up?
Yep,
This
as
is-
we expected. Gouts, what happened there? We
We
kind of
have
missed
got
out.
here.
Yeah, so initially first few laps were quite bad because a lot of wing damage. I was hitting the walls a lot. I was not finding traction. And then the rain began. I made the right choice, went into the inters pretty early. But got a little wing damage again, entering the pits, and I destroyed the entire wing. When I reset the car, I was reset onto the wrong part of the track.
Oh no,
So
That's
no point
unfortunate.
continuing the race.
disastrous. You were just talking
Do you
about how
feel, Gots, that this is the time for wets, or do you still think that the inters will hold?
I think the inters will hold. I think the inters will hold for the entire race now, as long as they're careful. It's only another 11 laps. It'll last. It'll definitely last because the rain seems to be getting heavier.
yes, it does. As it's still a fight for P4 with Srivatsan 10, Setu RC 18, Thunderbird and Cygnus Raghavan, all less than a second between each other. Supreme Leader and Mr. Wex rightfully so behind them as well. .25 seconds is the gap to KDB. That's the largest gap on track, at least in the top 10. Between Srivatsan and 10
We are
and KDB.
approaching the final 10 laps, and I think that the podium is pretty much set. Unless there are some massive penalties for the podium runners.
Rain seems to be coming down a lot more than ever now. Rudra, I think the full wet tires could have helped Vix 356 at this moment. But he's currently running P10 as Big Man Joe approaches the tail of Accelerate. Vix 356 gets a 3-second time penalty.
Sure, Vix 356 must be fuming right now.
Yep, probably the wet
And
tires
might
could
be
have helped him.
looking to fire his race strategist after the race is over.
Yep, but we don't have race strategists, so he's probably gonna hate himself after the race.
You get my drift, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Through the tunnel it goes. Accelerate just has that much enough pace to hold that race lead.
It must be very tricky to drive with inters inside a dry tunnel, to be honest.
Sure, it is. Look at that car in the rain.
That is
Looks
quite
beautiful.
difficult.
That is quite difficult. Indeed.
Yeah,
Gouts,
in the tunnels. I think
walk us through what you felt when the rain started coming down. Did you think you would get the jump on the rest of the drivers and actually end up finishing in the top 5?
I actually never had a chance to finish in the top 5. I was lapped by a couple of cars. I managed to unlap myself when they pitted, and sometime in between. But and then there was a safety car again, and I had to maintain my delta.
Indeed.
Was slowly losing traction. I was out of tires, by the way.
Okay.
Completely out of tires. So I'd used up every set.
Seems like there's standing water on the track. And full wets. KDB comes out with the full wets. So does Sicknig, UK and Rocketman at the back of the pack. There's water standing on track. The stagnant water on track. Does this change?
KDB has a 22-second gap. If the leaders pit, I think he might just be able to overtake them. Don't you think, Sarthak?
Yup, probably as half the grid goes into the pits. Everybody fighting for P4 is in the pits as they come out with full wets.
Oh my god. I would love to hear Vic's thoughts after the race is over. I really do.
I'm sure. Yes, we would love to hear that as he drops down to P10 with the inters. Both the front runners still on intermediates.
Could we see either of the leaders pit right now? I hope so.
Vix 356 gets on to the wet tires as well in the pits. Accelerate goes into the pit as well for a switch of tires. Big Man Joe will take the race lead with the Inters. He can only hope for the rain to reduce, but it doesn't seem like it.
It's a bit of a gamble, if I must say so.
Scouts, if you're still with us, tell us how much you would have enjoyed having the wet tires on and racing in the rain.
It would have been very difficult, because I was struggling with the light rain and the inters.
Okay.
So I think now that they've all pitted, I would have lost a lot more time because I was already way behind.
Do you feel, Gautam, that you could have done better in qualifying and thus much better in the race?
You know, I actually only got my qualifying time in at the last minute. Until then, I always had invalidated times.
Oh,
Oh no, unfortunate.
another classic
Yeah.
case of the Monaco brutality.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think we should rename the Principality of Monaco to the Brutality of Monaco. Don't you think?
Why not? As
I
the rain
agree.
seems to be coming down more than ever, and Big Man Joe and Mr. Vex are the only two drivers with inters on, and Big Man Joe's leading the race. How is he making this work?
It might seem like his gamble has paid off. He's being really careful, though. I don't see him making very sudden acceleration.
Yeah, but he's back
But
to
he
the
does
top
come
of it.
in.
Yep, he's coming to
He
the
does
pits.
come in forward. I think Accelerate might be able to get a comfortable lead if all goes well.
Really, the gap is 11 seconds. Yep, he does. So does KDB.
He comes out ahead of him. That it was a gamble that should not have been taken, to be honest.
7
He's
laps
5
to
seconds
go.
behind KDB now.
Cygnus Raghavan dropping. He's got the supreme leader way behind, so that's not an issue. But Cygnus Raghavan and Thunderbird are closer than ever, the Toro Rosso and Red Bull.
I feel that the front three are pretty much set right now. I had my doubts earlier, but look at Srivatsan, who's a minute behind Big Man Joe. A minute. That's almost a lap.
Indeed, it is. Why
Yeah, I think Cygnus Raghavan is an AI.
he is? I doubt that.
Yeah. No, I was behind him for a while and then ahead of him. He was kind of ghosted and it said AI on the phone. So I think he's been AI for a while.
That might explain why a Red Bull is in the top 10.
Yup, and
No offense.
and Thunderbird loses out a bit after nicking Srivatsan 10 back there.
I wonder if the AI continues driving the way they are, Red Bull might just be able to nick their first points of the season.
Let me tell you one thing, it's going to be ironic if the AI somehow ends up in the top 3 podium.
And a Red Bull AI.
Yeah,
at
Red
that.
Bull AI. I mean, they haven't even scored any points this season so far. So, it's going to be quite
Yeah, I'm gritting my teeth right now,
Yeah.
but we can see how that would be hilarious.
Thunderbird on the tail of Srivatsan 10 doesn't dive down the inside, is on his
A
tail.
little bit of defending.
Srivatsan
very
10
close.
defending, they touch.
Oh, and then bumps the wall.
Aggressive driving here by Thunderbird.
The visibility does not make things better.
Now one bit. 48 seconds is the gap to Big Man Joe from Srivatsan 10. 3-second time penalty for Rusty Nish, who is also an AI if I'm not wrong.
Yes, he is. I wonder if Big Man Joe has at least 30 seconds in penalties so that the gap can be closed, but looks unlikely.
Srivatsan 10 can only hope for that. And down the inside he goes. Thunderbird gets that position. Well done to him. Rusty Nish, the AI, has retired from the session. Mr. Wex goes into the pits for a fresh set of wet tires. And the Renault of Mr. Wex seeming ahead with
Seems to be going faster than the rest of the drivers, if I'm being honest.
He's on a fresh set of wet tires.
I wonder if anybody would pit now with just 5 laps to go. Seems like a bit of a stretch, but again, you never know.
You never know, indeed. Rocket Man, not great this season for him. Not great one bit. From turn
I mean,
one.
the earlier competition was between Rocketman and Daniel Avocado, but seems to have won that race at least.
Yep.
Ooh, that was a bit of a slide.
I think he's having issues. He's been having issues pretty much whole season. So
I wonder how he must feel when he sees his teammate Big Man Joe up there in the podium. I mean, they are the same spec cars, so there must be a bit of a strategy compromise that they'll have to go through.
we see the Supreme Leader coming out with fresh wet tires, a change of wing as well, with 5 laps to go.
That is a bit too much of a time waste.
Yep. And looks like X356 gets that position as well. So does Mr. Wex, capitalizing on that pit stop by the Supreme Leader.
Thunderbird now in P4. I guess the fight actually has to be for P4 as the race to win because the front three are comfortably well ahead.
Yeah, but KDB on the tail of Accelerate right now. Rains come down hard here in Monaco. 4 laps to go as Accelerate steams ahead, full wet tires. He's been doing great this race. He's got 4 laps to just hold on to that car onto the circuit as they come around the hairpin.
The closest Accelerate has come is 3rd place at Bahrain. He has never been on the podium otherwise, and he did not start 2 races. This will be the sweetest victory he's gonna have.
Yep, it'll be incredible for him. I mean, we were talking to him in the previous chat, and he was always talking about how track position is everything here in Monaco. As KDB spins, resets himself on the track as well. Will continue the race. Didn't lose.
Despite spinning, does not lose his position. That shows you
Yep.
how much the track has been accustomed to.
But he did lose quite a bit of time to Big Man Joe. Big Man Joe's only 2 seconds off of KDB right now.
And Accelerate has a 5-second gap. He must be feeling so calm right now.
Yep.
There was a big pressure off his shoulder.
All Accelerate has to do is make sure he keeps the momentum going and positions the car in every corner at the best possible way. And into the barriers. Yep, Big Man Joe. Moment he's lost part of his front wing for sure. Has he?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he has lost his end plate, but that should be all right, I guess, for the 3 laps.
That should be
Oh,
all
he's
right.
having a bit of an understeer. He definitely has damage to his wings, but he can continue.
And so he does. It's a 1 minute gap to Big Man Joe by Thunderbird. That's not gonna close anytime soon.
Definitely not.
What a race this is turning out to be. What a race this is turning out to be.
And everybody is spaced out so differently. I guess the only fight we can see right now is between Srivatsan and Setu with only 6/10 of a gap.
Yep, they're closer than ever here. The Haas and the Ferrari. Oh, the back kicks out a bit there for the Ferrari.
I mean, he is the only hope of Ferrari right now, and he is well in the points. That has to mean a lot.
And they shunt a bit. Three laps to go, 2 laps to go as Accelerate comes across the finish line to finish 36th lap. He'd be happy with this one. He'd definitely be happy. And as we can hear the cars revving at the highest possible way, Haas shunts the Ferrari. The Racing Point has an incident.
Just
at
shoves
the
him into
head.
the barricade. Oh no, he's stuck on the curbs. That has cost him significantly.
Yep, he could have placed his car in 6th position if everything
It sounds like he has engine damage.
does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah. His engine is not oh, and he's losing his tires as well. This does not look good for Wicks.
Not
So
one
close to
bit.
finishing the race.
Not one bit.
Do you think he might retire?
Could be. There's 2 laps to go. He has to keep this momentum going for another 2 laps around Monaco, around a wet track.
He is struggling a lot in terms of traction and power.
Yes,
Oh,
he
that is incredibly slow. That engine does not sound happy.
Does not sound happy one bit. He has to go. He doesn't go
It seems
back
to
into
be
this.
stuck in 4th gear. Okay, now he's able to change the gears, but that is very, very delicate.
Mr. Wex can capitalize on this position and get a
He
bit
has
of
caught up to within 1 second. Could he make one last move?
Cycling on the tail of the supreme leader. And at the back of the
Cygnus Raghavan seems to be catching up on 4th position, by the way.
Yep, and Srivatsan 10 has a moment. Yes, shunts all around. It's the Renault and the Ferrari had a bit of a moment there at the hairpin. And UK gets that position from Thor. Thor hits the wall. UK aggressively taking that position.
This has not been a good day for the Supreme Leader. I mean, it might be one of his worst finishes so far.
Yep, it is as Accelerate will start the final lap any moment now. He just has to make sure this final lap doesn't get messed up in any small way. No mistakes. No mistakes should be
Mr. Vex getting a 3-second penalty, and Srivatsan is just 2 seconds behind him. Lot of last lap drama for sure.
For sure. As we await, Thunderbird losing a bit of his back there. Setu RC18 has 10 seconds to close up on the AI of Cygnus Raghavan. And of course Vix356 still struggling, but has Mr. Vex closer than ever. Only a half a second between the two.
Oh, that engine is in its last moments.
Indeed.
I wonder how it would be if it were to die exactly on the finish line.
That would be incredibly unfortunate. Accelerate going through the tunnel. He'll be proud.
You know
of this
what?
race.
We might just have to give driver of the day to Vix for everything he's been through today.
Yep. Actually, like he's been through so much wrong strategies, and then ended up. It turns out, the whole grid went back into the pits for Vets. So and Vix356, rightfully so, loses that position to Mr. Vex.
Having a damaged car, wrong strategy, and still maintaining P7 or P8 now. Well, my bad, but still, it's good.
Yep.
Something to give him a little hope.
Accelerate
And
comes.
here we see the race end.
Yep. And as he approaches the finish line, he'll be proud of this. Accelerate wins the Monaco GP of the Bwoah Racing League. What a race!
Fantastic.
KDB will come P2.
Accelerate's first win this season and his second podium. The first being at Bahrain.
Well done, Accelerate. And P3 for Big Man Joe. Gets a podium finish nonetheless. And he will hold on to that driver's
standing position. Yes. Supreme Leader could have capitalized on this. Oh!
Did you
almost
see that?
Almost missed out. My god.
What a finish
Maybe he
for
got
Big
too
Man
excited.
Joe. What a finish for Big Man Joe. I think that was him expressing that he's had enough of this race. Oh my god, it's AI versus real driver for P4. They're still battling. Why is he slowing down? What's happening?
I think it was a tactic to just like hold the driver maybe.
Cygnus Raghavan's AI gets ahead of Thunderbird. Are we sure it's an AI?
Oh my god.
I highly doubt it's
It
an AI.
might be. I mean, looking at the racing line, it might just be.
What happened to Thunderbird? Does he think he's finished the race?
I
just-
think he's having issues with acceleration. Yeah.
Seems like it's Ignis Raghavan, AI or real driver. We don't know. Unfortunately, we'll find out soon. Thunderbird comes home
Yeah,
in P5.
I'm pretty sure it's an AI. Pretty sure.
Oh my god. What a race.
Disappointing result.
What a race.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Nevertheless, a fantastic day for Toro Rosso
Yep.
all around.
Accelerate.
P1 and P5.
Yep, Accelerate gets P1 and P2 goes to KDB with Big Man Joe in P3. Monaco GP, wet race for half of the time. Absolutely fantastic, if I might say.
Thoughts, Sarthak? Do we think any other Grand Prix can top it?
I mean, we'll see. There's ample amount of races to come. Stay tuned for the rest of the season of the Bwoah Racing League. Rudra, absolutely. I actually have fun today.
Me too, Sarthak. I mean, it was really a very interesting race to watch and a wonderful time as well, commentating on it.
Indeed.
I look
Yep.
forward to next week.
Yep, and as the standing goes, as you can see on our screens, everybody, thank you for joining us. If you're watching the restream, thank you to you too. And check us out for the post-race chat with the podium finishers and with the driver who set the fastest lap. See you next race, Rudra.
See you too. Bye. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.